Hey guys, welcome to another episode, and this is gonna be a quick one. So you may remember this board. This is ROG CROSSHAIR X670E GENE that I fixed a few episodes ago. And guess what? The motherboard came back to me. After fixing the board, I used it for some time in my main rig, but I didn't want the M80X motherboard. I wanted full ATX, so I sold it. And after some time, the buyer contacted me saying that he doesn't have sound, and also the USB-C front panel is not working. Uh, well, for sure the sound was working for me, and you could. I tested that definitely. So, and then I used the board for quite some time, so the sound was working. Not sure about the USB-C front panel because my case doesn't have that USB-C connector in the front panel. But well, I thought maybe I missed something or maybe something went wrong. So I agreed to the buyer to send back the board. I spent like over 2 days trying to do the BIOS updates, installing drivers, clean Windows install, then the drivers again, disabling something, disable NVIDIA graphic driver to make sure that the audio device is not interfering and so on. Nothing helped. And then I almost quit. I also found some firmware updates for the Realtek codec 4080 that is here, but it didn't work because the device was not even detected by the software update tool. But at some point, the buyer mentioned during the conversation that he may have damaged the board physically when assembling his new build. And so I started looking at the board and at the board view. So basically, the Realtek codec is here and it's covered by this shield, and all the surrounding components that supply power and all that are hidden here. So it's actually quite difficult to damage it if you would like to do it on purpose. But then I started looking at the board view, and it seems like there are also some components around here. So below the audio section here, the jacks, you have some components in this area here that actually supply power to the codec and do other stuff. And then I noticed something here, and you probably cannot see it from here, but let me show you under the microscope. Okay, and here we are under the microscope, and you can see the damage already, I guess. So what we have here is basically, let me check it. So this pin here is actually broken off. This one is also broken. I mean it's not connected to the board, and it's only holding with this leg here, but it's actually twisted. All of those legs are pretty twisted. I think those two are the most. I don't know, this one looks like it may be ripped off the IC, so I'm not sure if it's making proper connection. Just for science, I would try to straighten it up and solder it back properly. But well, actually, I'll show you something in a moment. I have a donor board from uh, Asus as well, B50 motherboard, which has exactly the same components. So I will use that board to get the donor and the proper one without twisted legs. But that's unfortunately not the only damage as I thought. I mean, I expected it to be the only thing, but looks like it's not. So if you look here, there's a trace going from this leg through this line here, and there's a pad here. I believe this is damaged, and also the other side of it, it was connecting to something. It looks like the entire pad is actually ripped, and there's like a leftover of the trace, probably from a via here. So we need to figure out what this component was and, well, replace it. I'm not sure about this one. This looks like fresh, so I mean, maybe it's not so visible here, but under the microscope I can see that it looks like it's damaged as well. Not sure what was here. Let's check the board view and see what should be there. Okay, so we have a board view of our motherboard. So this is the Realtek codec covered by the shield. You can see here, there's a PCI Express slot right here, and our IC is here. So this is the chip with the twisted legs. Make note of the marking. So it's APQ1. Because I checked already, I will show you that in a moment, but on my Donor B50 motherboard, those components are exactly the same, so are marked exactly the same and have the same model number, so it's actually the parts we can use as donors. So APQ1 is our N-channel MOSFET, P3202 CMG. That's our MOSFET with the twisted legs, and then we are missing something here, and this is the TVS diode 5 volt. And again, it's AD3, and the model, well, there is model here, but the parameters, so the type of the package and then some other parameters here, 1.6 times 0.8. So that's important. Also, I mentioned that something is maybe missing here, but as you can see, says no assembled, so looks like it's only pads, but nothing is here. So nothing here, nothing here. It's our chip right here, so it makes sense because it actually matches the board. So the chip is here, and something was here, and it was a diode. Let me show you the board view of the donor. And here you can see the board view for B550F. The actual donor I have is a B550E, but luckily the layout, at least in this section, is identical. So that's the entire board, and this is the ALC codec, but interestingly enough, it's different codec. It's ALC1220X, not 4080 like on our board we are trying to fix. But, well, I told you to make note of the marking on the chip. So actually our APQ1 chip is here, and as you can see, the model is also P3202 CMG, so it's exactly the same chip in the same package, and it's N-channel MOSFET doing some 5 volts, so it's actually pretty neat. And one of those legs should be connecting through this, but this is 0 ohm resistor. Okay, but we also wanted AD3, and it's TVS diode 5 volt and exactly the same parameters. So those are the two ICs we actually need to get from the donor. And we are back under the microscope. This is the donor board. Just the orientation is different from what we've seen on the board view because I couldn't fit it under the microscope the same way. So this is the chip and channel MOSFET we want to extract. 15L. I think that this is the marking of the model. The rest is probably a date or something. But first I need to desolder this little capacitor here because I don't want it to explode in my face. And then we have our diode here. So as you can see, there is a marking indicating the positive side. So actually the orientation is important. It's connecting to 5 volts. And this is ground. So I'm gonna extract those two chips off camera. I don't want to bother you with that, and we'll solder those components to our board, and I'll show you that. you can see, I have assembled everything and the board is running. There's the audio jack here going to the speakers, and in the sound properties, not sure if you can see it, it's probably a bit far away, but we have Realtek audio, USB audio, both jack output and so speaker output, and digital output. So that's what we expected to see, and that's great. And to prove that everything's working, let's play some YouTube video. So as you can see, it's working. And the last thing is this front panel USB-C. So actually there's the other side of this cable here. And so if I connect my phone, quick charge pops up, and then we should see also the phone being detected. And it is. This was just a driver issue. Installing Thunderbolt drivers actually solved the problem. So it looks like we have another successful repair, and I'm happy that I was able to diagnose and fix the board, because it's quite an expensive and nice motherboard. So yeah, happy to fix it. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.